Rock on. I didn't do that right. Oh, that's what you do in Hawaii. That's what I wanted to do. Rock on, baby. You know, I'm competing with Ethan Van Sciver right now. I think he has a live stream going right now. So I guess I'm probably going to get crushed in the ratings tonight. But you know what? We can treat this like the old-fashioned days when we used to watch like important programming on tape delay, right? Or DVR it. All right, welcome everybody. It is Aaron Live. It is, I got to look down on the calendar down here. It is May 23rd, 2021. And I got to tell you, it's a little too warm to be wearing this jacket. So I'm going to take this off. Now this shirt is green. It looks kind of charcoal gray. I tell you, man, if I ever get this color thing figured out with my cameras on my computers, I'll really have a show. Let's see who's here already. Hyper Potato is here, pushing Atari Force as he normally does. Oh, look, I'm here. Oh, I made a comment. See, I had to get my shot in on Atari Force. Louis Brightraven is here, of course. Guess you're just going to have to commission him to draw a dart. No, never happened. Rodney Ulibarri's here. Now, he didn't make it last week and was like, how did I miss your show last week? And I can't answer that question. How could you have possibly missed this show? It's the same time, same bat channel every Sunday afternoon, evening. So anyway, Rodney has joined us this time, so that's great. Paul is here. Nice to see you, Paul. Thanks for joining us. Angelo's here. Lloyd, the collector, is back. Now, Lloyd and I and John Livesey, who is an anchor, and Dave, was it Dave Thomas, the comic cover collector or something like that? I can't remember what his handle is on Twitter. We've been kind of sharing collection photos from our collection over the last couple of weeks. It's been kind of fun. Let's see here. Johnny Fitz is here. Thanks for joining us, Johnny. Appreciate it. Mark Anthony's finally showed up after several weeks off of a hiatus, and he's finally joining us again on a regular basis. Glad to see that. Angelo, can I get the first slap? You got to earn it, pal. You got to earn it. Chris Bacon is here with a long stretched out hello. Thank you for joining us. Zane is here from Chicago. We got two people from Chicago. Johnny Fitz is a Chicago guy too. Zane's here. Excellent. Nicholas Gear is here. And that rhymes. Mark, I know you were here last week. I meant like a couple weeks prior to that. So it's like, anyway. All right. So there, before we get full bore into the events of this evening, or the planned events of this evening, I saw something online the other day that was really sort of troubling to me. It was something I had been unaware of. It's I just think it's something that I want to bring to everybody's attention, and I guess you can do with it as you will. But anyway, I want you to take a quick look at this, if you would. Every time I see that, I get teared up. I don't know if there's a fund that you can give to help in that situation. I don't know, but I just wanted to make people aware of that type of thing is apparently going on right now. So it's just shocking out there in the real world. Let's see here. I did promise snacks, and I did bring. Now this is I feel kind of wimpy going for the this little baguette of Knott's Berry Farm raspberry shortbread cookies. These things, and I think I brought this up last week. My mother, who lives with us, she's a 90-year-old, orders this stuff from Costco in boxes, right? And so her room is just full of like unhealthy snacks. And so I go in and, when she's watching TV and has the sound up and she can't hear, I'll sneak in and steal cookies, and she doesn't even know. But anyway, so that's going to be my snack today. The good thing about these is only 230 calories for the whole freaking bag. And that's, for a bag of cookies, that's not too shabby. So I'm going to pop these suckers open. And I don't know, what everybody else is eating tonight, but, my daughter, who's home from college, says to me, I've been complaining to her, I've put on like 6 pounds since she's got home, since she's been home. And I'm blaming her for it because my wife and I are on a very regimented schedule, and I do all the cooking in our house. And so I'm making salads and all this kind of stuff. And we were all, we were doing really well. I was down like 16 pounds, and feeling pretty good. And so my daughter gets home and she starts to want, eat normal food. And so I start cooking that. And of course, we go out, and we go to the candy store, and we do all sorts of stuff. And so I've been blaming her for my weight gain. And she says, well, if you wouldn't keep eating snacks on all your live streams, you wouldn't have gained so much weight. And I'm like, me eating a couple snacks on a live stream is not porking me out. So anyway, that was her lame attempt at shifting the blame off of her and back onto me for gaining weight. And I just refused to accept it. All right. Here's a Zane Zelinsky says, have you booked any shows for 2021? I have. I'm going to be in Kansas City. It's just a one-day show. And it's like, why am I going all the way to Kansas City for a one-day show? So we turned it into a store signing and a one-day show in Kansas City at the end of July. Rose City Comic Con. Ooh, I got to send in my info on that. They wanted my picture and stuff. So Rose City in September. That's in Portland. And then I'm probably going to do Emerald City, although I haven't officially signed up for it for December, because who wants to go to Seattle in December? But I'll probably do it since it's just up the road from me a bit. And that's pretty much all I know. I'm not going to do Chicago in 2022 this coming year, because I only do Chicago every couple of years because I don't do great at Chicago for some reason. I mean, I do okay, but when I find out that if I go every 3 or 4 years, it's better than going every year. So I won't be heading to Chicago. And my daughter's in school in Phoenix, or will be when she goes back to school. And so I'm going to try and get a show figured out for Phoenix in 2022, as well as I want to go to Heroes Con because I haven't been doing that in ever. But basically, to address Zane's particular question, I'll be doing Aaron Con in 2 weekends. That's going to be huge, by the way. And then end of July in Kansas City, 1st September in Portland here at the Rose City, and then probably in Seattle in December. But that hasn't been verified yet or confirmed yet. So that's what my schedule looks like. I was supposed to do a store signing in Tennessee in August, but I haven't heard from the guy. I guess I should email him and see if he still wants to do that. I don't know. Do the parents always blame the kids for weight gain? I think that's a reasonable thing to assume, though, that it's your kid's fault. Let's see. I'll go to Texas anytime. I love Texas, especially I love barbecue in Texas, especially the diet barbecue. Okay, I'm joking about that, but I do love the barbecue. But I haven't. The Houston show I went to like 5 years ago or 6 years ago. I can't even remember how long ago it was. And I'd actually like to do one. Houston's so stinking humid. Although I have good friends at Bedrock City, and I love going there. But I would rather do one in northern Texas. And I did do a one-day show outside of Dallas a couple years ago, or a 2-day show, I guess it was. But it was a small comic book show, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So I'd go back to that anytime. Let's see. Lewis Brightraven has snack equals trail mix with butterscotch, white chocolate chips, almonds. That sounds like a pretty good snack. I'm not a big cranberry fan, but the rest of that stuff I would eat all day long. Don Korn is here. Don, of course, is also from, I believe, the Illinois area. I don't know if he's in Chicago, but he's in Illinois. I'm pretty sure of that. So we're well represented from the Windy City, or would that be considered the Windy State, Illinois? I don't know. All right, so let's move right along here and get to some of our just marvelous features. I got some new stuff that I haven't done before on this show before we get to the drawing. So, but let's jump in and do something somewhat familiar. Oh, actually, before we do that, I want to show you this. I actually corrected the spelling on this, so watch closely. That's right. I now believe subliminal is actually spelled correctly. And I think it was Mark Anthony that pointed that out last week, that I had a spelling error in there. And sure enough, I did. I'm not my own best editor all the time, especially when I'm in a hurry or I don't care enough to check twice. So, but anyway, it is important that you like and subscribe on this to me on this channel, because it does apparently count for something once you get to 1,000, and we're still in that 750 range. You know, we need to push ahead and get to 1,000. So let's do it. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you have no reason not to, because it's absolutely free. And you get notifications when my show's on, or if I do like an ad lib show right in the middle of the week, you can be there if you're subscribed. So anyway. All right, so let's move on to our groovy features, starting with, of course, I'm going to go over here. Now, you're not going to catch me recommending too many new comics, because quite frankly, I don't really read them that often, unless I have friends or something. You know, I do have a comic next week that's new that I will recommend. But this is pretty classic. This is one of the most iconic covers maybe in comic book history. You know, certainly the top 20 of iconic covers, I would think. And I believe this came out in 1983. And recently it's seen, like all collectibles, and of course Lloyd the collector will verify this, the collecting market has sort of exploded recently. I think there's a lot of stay-at-home money getting spread out at a lot of collectible auction sites that maybe normally would get spent at shows. So we're seeing a lot of prices go through the ceiling on books that were actually quite affordable not 6 months ago. And this book is one of them. You could have got this book for like $20 like a year ago or less. And now I think it's up around $300 or something, which is, it's worth it. You know, it should be a highly collectible book, but it's not exactly rare. But it is a great book. And I've always been kind of a Thor fan, but this book really, you know, I was sort of aware of Walter Simonson but I wasn't really, I mean, I had heard of Manhunter, but I hadn't really seen it. And, you know, I don't know really what he did after Manhunter, which is interesting because that was 1974, I think, if memory serves. And this is 83. So it's kind of like, well, what did Walter do for that 9 years in there, you know, that I was not paying attention? I mean, he certainly had to have done something. I think he worked on some Star Wars stuff. And I know he did the Aliens graphic novel adaptation, which I bought, you know, so I was familiar with his stuff and everything. But this took next level. This took him next level. This made Walter kind of a iconic, legendary superstar in the industry, and really gave him the attention that his work deserved. And I won't, spoiler alert, the splash page, the last page of this book is epic. Epic. And really, if you ever wanted to have a comic book that ended in a way that made you want to go out and buy the next issue or couldn't wait for the next issue, this book right here. It was just, I mean, he took Thor, which was, you know, at the time sort of a average selling, you know, sort of mildly interesting character, and just blew him up and made him the most popular book. I remember when this thing came out, and it was a 60-cent book, right? So it came out, and it wasn't just a couple months after this issue came out that you'd go to a comic book show and they were asking $6 for it, right? Which back in 83 was outrageous. And I remember, I think I missed it when it came out, because I'm still notorious for not getting to a comic shop on a regular basis. And even when I was young, and in 83, I was 18, 19 years old. So I was in college, but I didn't get to the comic shop every week, you know, so I get there every once in a while. And then I had missed this when it came out, right? So I desperately wanted to get it. So I was at a con and some guy had it. And it was seriously, it was like a month old. And he had $6 on it, a 60-cent comic. And I was like, I'm not paying that. You're outrageous. You know, I said, I'll give you $3. You know, and the guy was like, no, why would I sell it to you for $3 when someone's going to give me $6 in about 5 minutes? And I said, all right. So eventually I got one after all the buzz died down for a while. So I actually didn't get to read this till maybe a year or two into Walter's run on the book. And then I just, read it and was like, holy crap. So then I was out buying up all the back issues on it to read it. But anyway, if you haven't read this, and I find it highly unlikely that you haven't, but if you haven't, there's a Simonson collection and this whole thing where you can, if you can't actually get a copy of this, the actual comic, you can certainly get the trade and read it, because it is one of the great storylines of all time in comics. So anyway, so that, my friends, is yeah, and there I'm back. Oh, you'll notice I'm Aaron Solo Lopresti, and that's mainly because Shelly's not coming on today. Got a little bit of a headache, so she's crashing, and sends her regards to all you guys. And maybe we'll show up next time. Let's see, what do we got here? A bunch of people have chimed in since I started these brilliant videos. Is it still misspelled? Oh, for crying out loud. All right. Well, yeah, that's I guess that's true. But I'm getting a little irritated with Mark and his pointing out all of my flaws. So I'll fix it again for next week, I promise. And maybe next time it'll actually be correct, but let's not get our hopes up too high. Yeah, see, you guys are spending, I'm giving you all this great information and all these great videos. All you can do is focus on my inability to spell subliminal. Oh, Johnny Fitz is out. Sorry, Johnny. Thank you for stopping in. I hope you're feeling better here soon. It was subliminal. We were all spelling. Yeah, that's right. My subliminal messages to you guys are changing how you actually view words and how you spell. I am trying to create a new word, and pretty soon I'll have an entire dictionary that I'll expect you guys to know. So when we do these shows, we can actually communicate on my next level intelligence that's bringing in. Now see, Lloyd, he's always got to rub it in my face. Blames the kids, Aaron, and owns several copies of this, including 2 CGC 9.8 copies. Well, good. You should. That's a great book. That Thor book is. I mean, it's great. Let's see. Come for the comics, stay for the slaps. Jeff usually earns multiple slaps during the show. I don't know if you guys saw my intro, but I did make a reference to that. So I did create a new intro for the show tonight, and I think everything on there is spelled correctly, but I've proven to be completely untrustworthy in that regard. Let's see. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what Battlestar Galactica means, but apparently that's in reference to something else that I'm not paying attention to, which would be just about everything. Did I spell it sublime? I got to look at this thing again. I'm going to play it again so I can actually read it and see my spelling error again. What am I not seeing? Okay, I just looked at subliminal. I'm like, wow, I'm like missing 15 letters or something. Okay, you guys, all right. That's true. I need to pay a little bit more attention, and I will. I'll try. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now you guys are like, is there a side best to see who gets slapped first? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Well, let's move along then. And since Shelly's not on the show today, we're not going to do Shelly's con experiences, but I do have this question's been bugging me, and maybe this will be a new feature. We'll see. But this lends to a little audience participation. So take a look at this. Now this is a controversial topic. Now the first one, Henry Hole, of course, was in Werewolf of London, which I believe, unless I'm mistaken, was Universal's first werewolf film. I want to say 1931, but don't quote me on that. It was in the 30s. I know that. And then, of course, the second one was the more famous and well-known Lon Chaney Jr. and The Wolfman, which wasn't till 40 or 41. So it was really several years after the Henry Hole Werewolf of London movie. And then, of course, Oliver Reed's classic turn in Curse of the Werewolf, which I really love. That was a Hammer film, I believe, in the 60s, early 60s, and was very, very bloody and very creepy. But I did kind of, and so this isn't, it's not a question about which movie did you like the best. It's which werewolf, Wolfman, makeup, acting, whatever that you liked the best. That's sort of the question. And for me, it still goes to Henry Hole. That's my favorite Wolfman makeup. And the thing I loved most about that movie was he put on his hat and his overcoat after he turned into a werewolf, before he went out and killed people. And I thought, that's a werewolf with some class and some style. And so, and my second favorite is Oliver Stone. Did I say Oliver Stone? Oliver Reed in Curse of the Werewolf. I just love the makeup, the white hair, just the look. I thought that was really cool, even though it's a really unsettling, creepy horror film, especially, you know, the opening sequence where we find out how he became a werewolf. And then Lon Chaney, although I recently went back and watched The Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr., and I actually liked the movie much more than I remembered. I thought it was a pretty good movie, but I just am not big on Lon Chaney's, even though the makeup is genius, I just don't like his look, or him in that look, I guess. I much preferred Rick Baker's kind of remake makeup with Benicio del Toro, you know, what, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever that movie came out. But anyway, those are the three icons. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's see. Okay, so now is everybody... I got to get off this subliminal stuff. It's killing me. All right. Jeff Potts goes Oliver Reed. I'll accept that. That's a tough one between Henry and Law. Note, see, Louis Brightraven, he's more a classic. He wants the classics, and that's good. Lloyd goes, he's with Oliver Reed. He's with Jeff on Oliver Reed. Okay. And I love it, you know. Let's see. Hybrid Potato, no Shelley, no David Williams, unfiltered Aaron. Yeah, it's going to be a rough show. I'm hoping to have David Williams back. Now, oh, here's something interesting. Next week, now even if you'll go to YouTube and it'll say this is my 100th video, but it isn't, because the very first video, when Shelley opened this channel for me, like years before I actually started using it, posted just a quick video of one of our handlers when we were in Germany, Italian guy, saying my name or something, right? And so it really doesn't it's not a video that I posted. It's one that Shelley threw up there that really had nothing to do with, you know, what I've been doing since I started this channel. So next week will be my 100th video. That count blah blah blah. That counts all the Aaron lives, all the talking comics and art with Aaron Lopresti, and the Aaron cons. So basically 100 videos total. So next week will be my 100th video. So you know that's going to be a special show. Now I know it's Memorial Day weekend, so I don't know who's going to show up and who's not, but I'm going to try and get, I've been trying to get David Williams. He couldn't do it this week because it's his wife's birthday, and I totally get that. But I'm hoping to have him next weekend, and so we can do this third round of our draw off competition. So that'll be fun, and I'll try and have some spectacular videos for you guys that just will blow you away. Anyway, let's see, what do we got here? This is interesting. Oliver Reed was drunk while filming it. Oliver Reed was always drunk, wasn't he? No matter what he was filming. Paul says, Hole was great, but The Wolfman is very well told. Simple and straightforward storytelling. You're right. The Wolfman is a better film, but we're not critiquing the film. Remember, it's the werewolf himself, the Wolfman himself. Which one? What about? He says, ahoy, one and all. And I say, ahoy, matey. That's something. What the heck is that? Something was in my tooth. I hope it was food. That's an interesting point. You know, Hull didn't want like ton of makeup on because he didn't want to cover up his face for his acting, right? So they kind of Jack Pierce. It was Jack Pierce. I'm pretty sure he did that makeup. Kind of created a more of a, you know, a leaner makeup, shall we say, so you could see his face when he's acting and stuff. But I don't know. It really works for me. It works really well for me. I really like the look. But Jeff Potts says he wasn't a fan of Chaney's acting. He really likes Del Toro's version of it, though. Very primal. I agree. Chaney wasn't a great actor, but that was still, like I said, it was still a much better movie than I remembered it. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to say no, I have not read, because I haven't. Let's see what it says. Have you read Dave Sims' The Strange Death of Alex Raymond, where he dissects Hal Foster's milk canips and Alex Raymond's brush techniques? It's fascinating. Do I have a preferred brush? I have not read that book, or if it's a book or if it's in comic form or whatever. I do remember seeing Dave Sims' Cerebus stuff at our comic shops, and I never picked it up and never read it, even though I probably should have, but I was too much a Marvel guy, even in my late teens, but I did find that stuff very interesting. I use a number 2 Kolinsky. I want to say it's a, let's see if I got one laying around here. Hang on a second as I vacate the camera. Here we go. Here's an old one that I've been using for my whiteout. Yeah, so it's a Raphael Kolinsky. The serial number on it is 8404. That's a number 2. So that's what I use. The interesting thing about these brushes is they don't last very long. They're about, if you get them through Blix online where you get the discount, they're about 16, 17 bucks a piece. But they have a great tip usually right out of the gate, where the Winsor Newtons used to have great tips and they would last a long time. The Winsor Newtons, their tips suck. You don't even know what you're going to get half the time. I don't know what they changed, but they started changing those about 15, maybe even 20 years ago in the 90s, late 90s. And so that's when I switched to these Kolinskys, and I really, really like them. They have a great point, but they don't last long. So, you know, whereas you might get through a couple books inking with a Winsor Newton, you know, this is like, you know, you might have to go through 2 of these to get through one issue. But I still like them. Finding a good brush is hard. I'm not sure I understand this. Shelley's maiden name is Rogers. That is true. That makes her grandfather. So when she has a headache, she is actually out fighting crime. Makes her grandfather. I'm not sure. Is there a word missing out of there? And you guys are making fun of me for my editorial mistakes. Oh, The Death of Raymond just came out. So is that a comic, or is it like in a comic form, or is it actually a book? Kolinsky versus Winsor Newton. I said sprocket, not socket. You know, again, is there some sort of Kolinsky joke there that I'm not getting? I never get any of this stuff. Steve Rogers. So you guys, this is like over my head. I know who Steve Rogers is, but I'm not sure I get the connection here. You guys apparently are reading. Okay. All right. Fine. You asked for it. And now allow me to give it to you. So you earned it. Steve Martin line. Okay, Steve Martin line. Okay. Oh, you guys are just, I'm aware of Steve Martin, but apparently my, maybe not as aware as you guys are. Okay. All right, enough of this foolishness. Let's move along here, because I know some of you guys are just here for the drawing and you're like, Aaron, will you please hurry up and draw? We're tired of your boring entertainment. But I wanted you to see this because I actually put together a short film this week, using the old film school techniques. And So anyway, why don't you go ahead and watch your monitors and see what you think of this. Academy Award right there, baby. That was killer material. And I know if Shelley was sitting here right now watching that, she'd be laughing her head off. So my daughter would be going, that's not funny. Anyway. You know, you guys are starting to piss me off. Now I can give you one of these. And I'll even give you one of these. Oh, I think that covers all the bases, Jeff. You got the entire gamut there. See, it's in trade now. I think it was serialized in Sims Glamour Plus. I've never even heard of that. I got to get out of my house once in a while. That's what happens. That's what happens when all you do is work. You know, you're just totally oblivious to everything else that's going on around you. He knows. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, wrong one. He knows. Get to the point. Get it over with. I don't want to stretch out a movie for 2 hours when I can do it in, 10 seconds. Oh, my goodness. All right. So Jeff is happy that he got slapped around because that's what he's here for. And Mark's just egging him on. So I'm sure we haven't heard the last from Jeff tonight. All right. So I hope you guys are enjoying your snacks, as I am. Because when I show a movie, you should have movie snacks, even if it's a 10-second film. Actually, 10-second editing job, since I used other people. I didn't do anything myself. I just sort of combined other people's elements. All right. So, what I haven't plugged in a long time? I've got so many clips and stuff stored in this program now. It's like I can't just jump to something and click. I've got to find it. So you'll forgive me for the delays in between, but I have not plugged this in a while. And I think I should. Because those of you who have some, and some of you have multiple copies of this. So you know the wonderful quality that you're getting from this. In fact, if anybody wants one of these right now, I'll let you have it. I'm moving around here in my chair, sorry. You have it with free shipping. If anybody wants to jump in on one of these right now. That's right. So no shipping, just 45. If you want to sketch it, I'll do a sketch right now, right here, live, if you want one. And so let me know. Let me know right now. Mark Anthony will vouch for the quality. So let's take a look at this. See right there. Mark Anthony vouches for the quality. And as I, discipline you with slaps when you're bad, I also reward you when you're good. So there you have it. Yeah, so jump in there if anybody wants one. Yeah, it's free shipping. I know it's madness, isn't it? Hey, look at. He's now. See, Mark's bending over backwards now to get kudos. I appreciate the effort. I do. These will be, of course, I'm sure when I do my ErinCon in a couple of weeks, these things will be flying off the shelves again. All right. Well, let's move along. The night is young and I'm getting older. I can't even find my way out of this mess. There it is. All right. Okay. Well, here is the deal. I do need some suggestions on what to draw. I'm kind of torn. I've got, I got a sketch pad here. I'm ready to go, but I need some suggestions from you guys. So feel free to jump in. And what would you like to see me draw tonight? And if you actually come up with a good idea, I might use it. So I'll just sit here and eat. Shortbread with raspberry fillings. Is Knott's Berry Farm still even there? I mean, it's right next to, well, it's not right next to Disneyland, but it's close to Disneyland. But not nearly as fun. But it's probably not as expensive either to get in. But you could go there and buy these, I would guess. Hyper Potato wants Victor Thomas says Wolfman. I've done a ton of those. Jeff, oh my gosh, look at this. That's so obvious. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Okay, but let's see. Bing bang boom. Alfred from Batman. Are you guys kidding me? Vanna White. Gee, money, Christmas. Why do I even bother asking? Okay, now this is pretty good. Shadow, that's not bad. Yeah, there's only 3 people who knew who Bullet Man is. You, me, and Lloyd the Collector. I've already drawn Shelley multiple times. Storm Shadow. I don't even know who that is. Come on, Angelo. Cloak and Dagger. That's too many characters. Okay, Louis Brightraven claims he knows who Bullet Man is too, so that's 4. Paul Brillart wants Mr. A. I don't know who Mr. A is unless he's referring to me. Let me see here. I attempted to draw Fing Fang Foom, but no one would buy it. And I'm all about, I'm such a mercenary. Captain Caveman, holy crap. Dick Tracy, yeah. I did a Popeye though that was pretty cool a while back. The Vision, any Ditko creation, well, that could be Spider-Man, Shade, the Changing Man, the Creeper. Ooh, the Creeper. Let's see the Vision. Lloyd says Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Thank you for caring enough to stop by while we're still live. And then you can go and check us out later when we're not live. All right. Vic, I've about had enough of you. Ooh. Power Man. I assume you made Luke Cage Hero for Hire, not Power Man from the Avengers issue number 9. Or maybe he doesn't mean that. I am working on right now a colossal, it's the biggest commission I've ever done in my life. It's a double-page Justice League spread, and I would love to show it to you guys, but actually the guy that I'm doing it for, I'd be showing you before I showed him, which would be uncool. So I'll wait till it's almost finished. I'll finish it this week, and then I will bring it next week to show you guys. But it's pretty epic. See, you cause the violence, and then you complain about it. I just don't understand you people. Now, this is actually now Ted Cord. I just drew him in this Justice League. Nobody likes Ted. Does anybody really like Ted Cord? I mean, we all pretend to, but do we really? Man, wolf, or werewolf by night, to stay with the theme. It's interesting. Well, Angelo, just because someone else knows who Storm Shadow is doesn't mean that I will. So I just did that Sludge versus Swamp Thing commission I posted. I'm sure you guys saw that. People are pushing for Fing Fang Foom. That's appealing to my monster sensibilities. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I do not know the connection between Man Wolf and David Anthony Kraft. But I trust Louis Brightraven because he's quite the comic book historian of knowledge. All right, Fing Fang Boom. But I have to see. I got to dust all the shortbread cookies off me before. All right, so this is going to involve finding some reference for Fing Fang Foom. So the reason I'm typing on camera is because I'm looking for Fing Fang Foom reference. Because he's all about the head, right? And if you don't get the head right, well, then you just really haven't got the character right. Ooh, that's pretty nice. We drew that. Well, I'm going to tend to lean more towards Kirby version. I think I did. Didn't I do Fing? Oh, you know what? I ripped off Fing Fang Foom for an issue of Damage as kind of a little joke. For those of you who actually read Damage, which, all 5 of you. And let's see here. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to take some Kirby reference, because if we don't have Kirby reference, then, we really don't have anything at all. Ghost Rider. Ooh, that's a good idea. I think Jeff has a problem. Now, am I going to get blamed for Jeff's problem because there's so much slapping going on in the show? Joanna Cameron's Isis. You know what? I've done 2 commissions of her recently, so no. I did a show with Elastigirl. I did a show that's on my video collection. If you go to YouTube and check that out, that I actually drew Elastigirl on this show already. Dragon with Whiskers. Yeah, I know, Bert. Ghost Rider. Which Ghost Rider? Fred. Okay. You keep saying that, but then when I come to you and say, okay, Fred, are you ready? Let's do it. You're like, no. So, Fred. See, look at, okay, here we go. This is Fred. I still have 600 for you for that special commission we talked about. And then he follows it up by saying, just waiting for the taxes to come in. So he really doesn't have it. So it doesn't count, Fred. When you're actually ready to go and send me the PayPal, then you're ready to go. Ooh, that's a good suggestion. I've been reading Silver Surfer recently too. Okay, now I'm getting off the Western Frazetta Ghostwriter. Oh, yeah. Yes. I used to do a lot of white queens, and I don't do that anymore in her lingerie outfits because it's just too, it's not how I want to represent myself. And then I don't do Vampirella because she's too slutty too. But I think those are the only two that I usually don't do. Oh, and Black Queen, Goblin Queen, whatever, because she's basically, female characters in lingerie are sort of like, come on. So that's about it. I just try to keep stuff a little bit cleaner, and you start noticing that stuff. When I didn't have a daughter, I didn't really even think about it. And then when I had a daughter, I really started thinking about it. And then when she got older and realized what I was drawing, I really started to think about it. And so I've sort of put the kibosh on some of that stuff. You know what, Jeff? I actually had that record. I remember it well because I think it was just it was a reprint of Spider-Man 124, wasn't it? With the first appearance of the Man-Thing. And it had the Power record with it. God, I love those things. I had a Hulk issue that had those. Those were the coolest things ever. Just put on the old record player, right? And you'd sit there and it would do the dramatic reading. Then when you get to the bottom of the page, you go ding. You turn the page, and then it would go to the next page. I love that. Let's see. No, someone would have to pay me bucks to do that. Deadpool. Nah. Supergirl. See, I'm like unmotivated, you guys. I need something that's really going to just show some love to Blade. There's some truth to that. I mean, I appreciate the female figure clearly, but I always treat it as art. And like, you look at Adam Hughes stuff and it's just boom, it's just mind bending. Like he had a big Barda, like, I don't know if you guys saw it, like a circus poster that he did at San Diego one year. And I mean, it was typical Adam, pretty, I don't want to say racy, but, not fully covered. But it was more just such an appreciation of his technique and just it wasn't like, I was buying a dirty magazine. It was like I'm buying this great piece of art. And that's kind of how I look at the female figure in terms of art. I don't look at it beyond that. So if you're looking at it beyond that, then that makes me a little nervous. Classic, Mary Marvel. I love Captain Marvel. See, why does this not surprise me? Lloyd's got all of the comics and records from Power Records and read-alongs. Dude, your house just must be, I mean, I don't know, you probably don't even have all this stuff in your house. You probably have like a storage unit, right, full of all this stuff, but that would be interesting. Let's see now, look at that. I like that idea. Lloyd wants Zatanna. That's easy. Dark Phoenix. Hey, Leg Kick just showed up. Yay! No. Adam Warlock, like a 70s version of Adam Warlock, a Starlin version of Adam Warlock. That's interesting. He's got all that cape, though. Well, I better start drawing something. Well, okay. We'll see what happens here. Thank you for all your suggestions. You've all been wonderful. You can all go home now. No, I'm kidding. We're just really starting the good stuff now. I'm going to, I got to switch cameras here. Boom. I do that so effortlessly now. All right. Three storage units and my 5-bedroom house is stuffed full. Wow. I believe it. I hope it's at least organized to a degree that you can find stuff. I've been buying some comic books lately, but I'm supposed to be on Andy Smith's show tomorrow night talking about comics. So I don't want to show, I've been showing them on Twitter, but if you haven't seen them on my Twitter feed, I'm going to show some books I just picked up recently in some of my favorite CGC books on Andy's show tomorrow night. So if you guys have an interest in comic collecting beyond just the art, but just, comics as a collectible item or medium, you might want to check that out tomorrow night. I also did videos of my own on my own channel that have. It might be nice if I had a pencil. I've done videos of some of my better comics in my collection. So again, another great reason why you should subscribe to my channel, so you can go take a look at all those videos and remind you to go take a look at all those videos. Everyone, please please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Do it, man. That's the kind of promotion I like. I've got to expand my audience, I guess, because I know all you guys are already subscribed, and I have to get that new person every once in a while to come in and check out what's going on. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? That Warlock is tempting. Who's dinging me on Facebook? Oh, someone's messaging me right now. Wants to know how much the sketchbook is. And I believe this is the same gentleman in Singapore that has a Dr. Doom commission coming along with the Wonder Woman from last week. And I'm sorry. So if that is the case, now see, international shipping is not free. I can't do it because it's more expensive than the book. But if this is the same guy, and I think it is, that's got the Dr. Doom coming, if you're listening right now as we talk, I'll throw it in there with the artwork at no extra cost. So, since you've already paid for the shipping on the artwork. But they're $45, and you can get whatever headshot you want in the book. And this stupid autofocus is back on again, but now it's off again. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I am going to do, well, I guess you can show, well, what am I going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I got to do a girl because that's what you all really want, isn't it? Problem is, I've done so many female figures, probably repeating myself at this point. Okay. I do everything by judging the size of the head, because your figure is going to be about 7 to 8 heads tall in comic book land. Obviously, if you're drawing something to look authentically real, that's not going to be the case. The head's going to be much bigger, but in comic book reality, it's 7 to 8 heads. And so I just pretty much eyeball it based on the size of the head. So I always draw the head first. And I don't really do the stick figure thing, which I told you guys before. I just kind of shape my way to the figure, if that makes any sense. And I really like to accentuate the curves of the figure. So I always have them curving around like this. It's interesting, there was a description of the female form on Seinfeld one episode where it was Elaine was talking with Jerry, and I can't remember who said what, but basically they were talking about the female form is flowing and curves, and like a piece of a work of art, where the male form is more utility based, like a Jeep. No, and I thought that's pretty funny because it's actually kind of true. So it's more fun to draw the female form because it's just more of a flowing curvy, sort of elegant, if you draw it right, feel to it, as opposed to, I mean, I like drawing big hulking things as well, but, and what do I want to do here? I've drawn this character multiple times, so I have to sort of, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I think I'll, but it is interesting how, you know, when you do something enough, like figure drawing, that you can sort of eyeball the sections of the body and sort of get it in proportion um, just by eyeballing the drawing as you go, because you get it in your mind what looks comfortable, what looks right, because you've done it so many times. And I'll have to do that. Which just doesn't mean I necessarily always get it right, but is Shelley on here? Oh, yeah, there she is. Okay. See, Shelley's coming in to steal the show. Granny goodness. I don't know if that's a joke or not, but I guess every character got turned into a female character in the 90s, right? Because that was kind of the way to make sure your book sold. Jeff Potts had a few Adam Warlock issues back in the 70s, and they tied into the Infinity Gauntlet story with Thanos Avengers. I think that's the one where Adam dies, yes. Adam Warlock, well, I think that was Avengers Annual number 7, which Starlin drew. Spider-Man crossed over in. That was not Avengers Annual 7, Marvel 2-in-1 Annual is the one where the Thing and Spider-Man sort of teamed up late and came to the party, to the big fight later with Thanos. And I think that's where Warlock died and killed Thanos, or at least we thought he did. So there we go. I don't like this leg. See, you get to kind of look at me screwing up, and I think if I do this, it's more interesting. Okay, I'm gonna bring this leg in. Do. Yes. Now I think I'm onto something here. So, because the hip is going like that, this hip is jutting up, so that's a weight-bearing hip, right? So that means this leg is going to drop down a little bit lower. So the knee's going to be down here. Well, this one's up here. I think that's good enough for government work. That should satisfy our purposes for this evening. All right. So Art T. Bear is in the house. How about that? Now, see, I'm shocked because Art's generally on YouTube 24/7, so I'm surprised he's not doing I'm surprised he's not doing a show right now. Of course, Art, you do those morning shows, like it's Good Morning with Art to Bear all the time, or at least it's morning here. You're in Texas now, so it's a little bit later, probably mid-morning brunch time, perhaps. Well, maybe if I got, talked more current events, spice the show up a little bit. Yeah. We're here for fantasy, not reality. Let's see. Is that granny panties she's wearing? Yes. How did you guess? It's her little, what do you call it? Onesie thing. Yes, it's Zatanna. Zatanna. Zatanna? Yeah, I think Zatanna. That's right. These top hats they're so big, and it seems I got to make it wide enough to kind of fit around her big hair, but I don't want to make it too big. A little bit obnoxious. All right, let's get in here and do the face. Steampunk Zatanna. That requires too much thought. Okay. Let's go in for my skilled camera movement techniques. Oh. Those of you in California will appreciate the shakiness, I'm sure. All right. And apparently that's as close as I'm going to get. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I have to take a brief moment here to do this. Excellent. Okay. And the violence continues. Of course, the eyes are the most important thing because, as they say, the eyes are the gateway to the soul. So what do you guys think? Should I do a Memorial Day weekend show, or are all you guys going to be gone? And I should just take a week off? Or maybe doing him. No. I don't want to use my 100th video to do just a quick impromptu. So, the 100th video has to be like, it has to be a big event, as big as an event like this can possibly be. Okay. See, I think he meant to say, I'll be around if that makes any difference, but he said, you'll be around if that makes any difference. So maybe that's what he did mean to say, is that apparently I'll be around for Memorial Day weekend. So I guess so if that's a shot at me, I can only respond with this. And maybe one of these. So, and now if that wasn't a shot at me and just a misspelling, then I take back all that violence I just threw your way. Let's see. Loose Bright Raven says, take the weekend off. I suppose I could rest up for Aaron Con, but then that makes Aaron Con my 100th show. Wow. I don't know if I want to do that either. The 100th show has to be big. It has to be huge. I have to like actually go out and shoot like a new video or something for it. Actually a good one.
You need some help.
Oh my gosh. Not appreciating the entertainment value of today's show, Shelley. So Shelley has joined in to save me.
Comments.
Oh, well, I'm drawing.
I understand that.
So Shelley is
forever to make up your mind.
I know, because I had no direction today.
I know. Okay.
So Shelley's in here to sort of manage the show now, and so hopefully it'll pick up and the ratings will go through the roof.
Right.
Get our Nielsen ratings up.
Spilling on myself. What a day. Okay, let's see what we got going.
Did you see my movie? Did you chime in time to see my movie?
It's right, Bert. To the rescue. As always. Your movie. No, I just went on right when I...
Okay, well, I got to show this to Shelley. So hang on. I'm not sure she was too impressed with my.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
They've been spending most of their time pointing out my spelling mistakes on my subliminal message.
Well, you have to have a flaw at some point, don't you think?
Yeah.
No con adventures for me on this one, though.
No, I didn't prepare one because I didn't think you'd be doing the show. So
no, I didn't think I would either.
As you can see, it's Aaron Solo Lopresti, but no,
yeah,
I just didn't.
Yeah. No, you were missing comments, so I thought, well, let's see. Yeah, Cinematic Marvel, that's for sure. Yay, Shelley. I laughed, I cried. It moved me, Bob. Was that the line?
Yes, from VeggieTales.
Oh, yeah. And the
There we go.
Smartass part of the show is now here. Oh. Too funny.
So do you realize my next video is my 100th video?
Well, when you said that, I was like, really?
Well, technically, you know that one you posted of the Italian guy from
Sammy.
This
He
is
was so cute.
This is my 100th.
I'm sure he's still cute.
This is my 100th video, if you count that one, but that's not really a video that I produced, so it's only 99.
It was my video.
That's right. So
Aaron Lopresti. And I have the boring name.
no, it's how you pronounce it. Shelley Roher. See?
Roher. Yeah.
Lloyd couldn't
It's
resist.
okay, Lloyd.
Shelley supports your comments all
I
the
do.
time.
I invite them.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No, I really don't.
You missed my comment, though, in there.
Well, I saw some of your comments.
I know there was a few. This one.
A lot of granny panties.
Yep.
They serve their purpose, I suppose.
Well, I suppose. Oh. Well, how was everybody's week? Hope it was good.
Yeah, we had quite a few people starting off, and then as soon as they found out you weren't here, I think everybody bailed.
Oh, no, there's more than there was before.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better about this now.
Oh, we planted a vegetable garden this morning. Man, I feel like a loser. Marvelous, simply marvelous. We should probably do that, although that would require
Work.
Uh-huh.
It would require tilling up the soil.
I'd do that.
Would you, though?
Yeah. I seriously have to plant flowers this year. I didn't plant flowers last year, and I'm kind of a flower fanatic.
Well, we could take the flower bed in the backyard and
Look
turn it
at
into a
Jeff
garden.
helped the neighbor put up a fence. Into his what? We are sucky neighbors too.
Yeah.
The only thing we did today was our dog barked at our neighbor.
Wait a minute. You helped your neighbor put up a section of fence between his yard and mine, and then you took your wife to see Mortal Kombat. I don't know about that.
Yeah, getting the hands dirty, I don't mind that, even with my industrial strength nails. Nice.
Your vault sale, what was that? Were you selling, was that art or comics that you were selling from your vault?
$225. Did we do anything productive this week?
I'd like to think no.
Yeah, no.
I drew some pictures.
You did. Well, I guess, I mean, I hate to use this as an excuse, but my dad's still in the hospital, so I was up there.
Well, that's productive.
Yeah, that's what I did today. Why I'm exhausted. No, she requested to see Mortal Kombat because she's badass.
Well,
you slept through half the movie? Oh, man, I couldn't sleep. Maybe I should go see it.
Put you to sleep.
Yeah. Sketch cards I did, and a sketch in one of my sketchbooks.
Oh, well.
That was the $225. I guess. Boring week for me. So I'm sorry, Lloyd. Somebody could have some of my excited week.
Lloyd didn't buy any comics this week, so he wasn't as exciting for him. Now my son buys stuff and has it sent here, and then I have to wait for him to come by to open it. But he did.
Pretty good.
He got Spider-Man 136 and 9.4, and Spider-Man 98 in a 9.2. So both good gets.
Awesome.
136 has a great cover. Return of the Green Goblin. Come on. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, can't go wrong with that one, I suppose.
Says, yeah, whatever.
Created a monster.
Yeah, I don't know why he's suddenly hot on comics now. When he's been, I think he burned out on the movie posters. He's got so many movie posters now. He doesn't have any place to put them.
Right. That's why he needs to buy a house. I haven't heard from him. I'll go grab my phone. Oh, that'd be great if the doctor called right now. I'll just look at my phone. Come on, Husker. Let's go get Mama's phone.
Oops. I'm going to zoom out again so we can see more of the full figure of the Zatanna and her long legs, which actually look longer simply because of the angle I have the camera out. She looks like Zendaya here instead of Mm. I think it's funny that Shelley felt she needed to come in here to save the show. uh, all righty. Wait a minute here. Gonna, I think I want to get some movement out of these coattails here. Something like that, perhaps. All righty. I think we've achieved something here. Lloyd, you sold more comics this past week than you bought? That is almost sacrilege for that's almost sacrilege, isn't it? Do you have a 9/2 Daredevil 38? Just curious. Not doesn't have to be slabbed, but it has to be a legitimate 9/2 though. Because I bought a as you know, I bought a 9/2 slabbed Daredevil 37, which is the first part of that Doctor Doom story, and now I have to get a gotta figure out what I'm going to do with her hand. So I have to get a 38 to go with it. Hands are such a pain in the butt. I figure out what I'm like that. That's what I was going for. I still don't think this mouth is expressive enough. I want kind of like a little bit of a smile, but not too much of a smile. Why are you downsizing your collection, Lloyd? Now I wonder when you've got everything, like you clearly do. I mean, you don't have everything, but like everything of significant value, especially of Silver Age and newer. It's like you're kind of forced to buying multiple copies of stuff you already have, right? Or you can't buy anything because you've already got everything. Bert, what are you, my mom? Oh, for crying out loud, you guys. Well, I would guess, Lloyd, that your collection is way too large, but I mean, you're a dealer too, sort of, aren't you? So you have to have stuff on hand for eager buyers. I always fear inking faces once I've got them penciled, especially if I really like the way they look, because you just like one false move with your pen and you've screwed up the eyes or the nose or something. And we must push on, take the risk, because if it turns out bad, I can always throw it away. But I think it's looking pretty good. Far be it from me to complain about my own work. I am going to complain about my lack of pens. Where the heck? I got a table full of garbage over here, and it's mostly art supplies, and yet whatever I need is never there. So we're going to go a little stylized with this hair. I've been torn throughout my entire career about doing hair. Sometimes I do it really stylized and angular because I think it looks interesting, but then I look at, like Frazetta or somebody that did more realistic take on hair, and you're like, oh, that looks so nice too. But I think the most successful comic book artists are guys that are really stylized. Guys that sort of float around, being realistic without, fully committing to being realistic, tend to be the least popular for whatever reason. So I'm about to get on my soapbox. I'll try not to, but I don't know if I can resist the temptation. Because I think that obviously comic books are a fantasy medium, right? So drawing everything perfect and realistic is not really the point, is it? That's not to take anything away from Alex Ross or somebody like that, but I kind of feel like there's been sort of this movement towards making comic books too real, and it kind of takes some of the fun out of them, I think. But hey, what do I know? I think we all have our best memories about comics from when we were kids, right? And that was like that whole sort of, every time you went to the comic shop, you could see something in a comic book that you couldn't ever, see in real life, and certainly would even be hard to imagine. Lloyd's demanding I turn on my contact information, and there it is. Shogun Ronin artist. This is what you need to know. Yeah, it's aaronlopresti.com. No spaces. All right, did anybody contact me about getting a sketchbook while I'm doing this? I don't think so. Someone asked me about it, but I have no confirmation. I can't check my PayPal while I'm doing this because I could, but I'm not going to. So if you're watching the feed and you want a sketchbook or something, let me know that you want one. Oh, Shelly's left, so I can't guarantee I'm going to see the comments while I'm drawing. I'm trying. I'm trying. So I've got some big announcements, I think, coming up during ErinCon. So you want to make sure you don't miss that. And of course, that will be a 3-day event, Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. Ton of drawing. I'll have the table set up. I wanted to get some prints done, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not. I might get, I had an idea for something, but I don't necessarily have to have it printed up as long as I have it finished, so because I can get it printed up in a matter of days. So that's not the issue, but having it done to show you guys would be the issue. Hey, John Smith is here. Come on, John. It's no longer lefty. Okay, I'm back to being righty. So now it's Aaron solo, Lopresti, when I'm solo, which I am tonight. Except Shelly keeps bebopping in here, so I'm only partially solo. Can you be partially solo? I think you can. Should I go full color with this or just gray marker? You know what? I think I'll go full color. What else do I have to do, huh? Of course, I'm using my Le Pen drawing pen, which claims to have archival ink. I haven't seen any of my stuff hasn't faded from using the various pens or the Copic markers, and probably I haven't seen anything in the last 20 years that's faded. So I think they're pretty safe, but I know there are some artistic types out there that are kind of bad-mouthing markers. So but like I said, I have seen no evidence that these Copics or any of these liners fade. So Man Called Solo. Was that a show? Okay, Shogun. I got it. Payment sent for what did you send payment for? Share with me. Oh yeah, Solo was from The Man Called Uncle, right? Okay, yeah. But what was his first name? It was like Napoleon Solo or something like that. I mean, I can't remember. What was the guy's name? Pretty sure it wasn't Han Solo. I'm just going to go out on a limb there and say I don't think that was what it was called. No, was it Napoleon Solo? Was it really correct? How about that? That's what I said, right? Napoleon? See, that's the thing. I don't even remember what I said 5 seconds ago. Okay. All right, I need a straight edge without actually getting a straight edge. So, using the old tricks of the trade, I'll just use the edge of this drawing pad here, which is cardboard, to be my straight edge. Don't make this too thick. Someone asked earlier, I know, asked what the what paper I was using. Mark Brooks turned me on to this. It has a really nice surface. It's not as heavy as the 11 by 14 bristle board that I usually use, but it does have a real nice, this Canson, and look, it even has French writing on it, so you know it must be quality. Papiers de l'Inspiration depuis 1557. If only Shelley was here to read that French, because she could. But anyway, it's acid-free, and it does take marker really well. It's a very nice paper. It's just a thinner paper. So yeah, I don't really know if that is that big a deal to anybody, but I mean, if you take a piece of artwork and frame it, do you really care if it's on 2-ply bristle or if it's just on a thinner piece? I got drawings on tracing paper that are framed, and I don't care. It looks pretty nice to me. So, all right. So here's our little magic wand. And we'll put some little sparklies in there later. Okay, so kind of got to, if I color her legs first and do the fishnets over the top, it'll ruin my pen. However, if I do the pen first, then color over the top, it's going to mute the black. I think I'm going to color the legs first and then lightly press with my pen to do the fishnets over the top, and I don't think it'll ruin my pen. So I think it'll just coast lightly over the colored pencil. Now see, if I'd spend the money and get an entire set of Copics, which is like, $300 or something crazy like that, then I'd have skin tones, but I'm too cheap. So, and like I said a million times, I kind of enjoy doing the colored pencil thing because not a lot of people do the colored pencil thing. So this is kind of like my thing. Sketchbook with a sketch. Okay, Shogun, what did you want? I'll do it live, man. Tell me what character you wanted in your sketchbook, and I will do it live right after this. This is going to be another one of those things when the color's on there, you guys are going to go, I don't see the color. Now, when I did that Maxima, I don't think I ever posted that from last week, but this one I promise I'll post. So that was a, what do I got there? A rose deco. That was that pink I used. And I'm going to use a darker pink, which is a just a plain rose. So rose deco and no rose. And I'd be willing to bet these aren't even the same company. Maybe they are. I've seriously have pencils laying around here that I had when I was in high school. So I have like a variety. Did I post the Maxima? I guess I did. Yeah, you know what? It's all coming back to me now. Not really. But if you say so. And I will tell you what. Doing these live shows, prepping for these shows, managing 5 social media sites, and then trying to get some work done. And then also I got my web page, which of course is on the scroll down there. So the aaron@aaronlopresti.com, of course, is my email. The www.aaronlopresti.com is my website and my PayPal address. So yeah, so if you haven't visited my website, you probably should. There's not a lot of new stuff up there because I haven't, quite frankly, I have not had the time to go in and mess with it because I've been putting all my effort into this kind of stuff. But if you haven't been there before, there's still a ton of really good stuff in there. I have years worth of blog posts that are mostly discussing my cover technique. I want an orange, something sort of orange. I got a red. Where the heck is my orange at? It's over here. This isn't really orange. It's a, I don't know what it is because I sharpened off the color. This is a different brand, so the color of the pencil was up here, and it's been whittled down, so I don't know what it is, but it's kind of an orange. This Casson paper has a little bit more of a tooth to it. So you really want to be light in your touch with these colored pencils. And it'll really blend nicely, practically without any effort. And that's, I'm all about limited effort. Hang on one second, I need to get a tissue. Because even though it looks super soft to you guys, it isn't as soft as it looks on camera. This tissue I have is so used. It's got so much color on it. I got to be careful. I'm going to end up rubbing some of the color on this tissue onto her legs. And you wouldn't want that. Okay. Okay. I should do a better setup too. For displaying setting the camera up so when I'm drawing, so it's not just on my lap all the time, because there we go. The problem is my drafting table is not near my computer, and so it's like if I went over to my drafting table and set up the camera and drew over there, I would have no idea what's going on over here. Problems with technology, or my lack of ability to handle technology is probably a better way to put that. Spider-Man 2099. All right. That's what we'll do next. As soon as we finish Zatanna, will be Spider-Man 2099. That was out of all those 2099 books, I think that was the one that sort of lasted, didn't it? I don't think. I remember Paul Ryan did Ravage 2099, and there was Doom 2099. But the Spider-Man 2099, I think, was the one book that sort of stuck around, unless I'm mistaken. But they're still using that character, aren't they? Bert's getting a little saucy with his ZZ Top reference there. She's got legs. Indeed, she does. Let's see if I can find a clean spot here. That's actually sort of a more accurate color. It's a little bit peachier than it's showing there. See, the justification for putting like red on the elbows and the knees is that's supposed to be thinner skin, so you're more likely to get the color of blood flow in those areas, or so the story goes. Let's try some of this. This appears to be some sort of brown, but I can't even read it. It's a Faber-Castell pencil, so you know it's high quality, but I don't know what the color is because I can't read it off this. That gold, the gold printing on there reflects. You have to get it just right. I still can't read it. It's kind of a creamy brown color, tan color, not really brown. I tell you, there we go. That's better. Promise some year I'm going to actually solve my lighting problems around here. I keep talking big, but I never actually do anything. I'm going to go in here pretty heavy with some orange and lighten up. Dark right there, press harder, then lighten up as I get farther up the top. Cross hatch over that. Lighten it up a little bit. That clicking you hear, of course, is my dog foraging for food, even though he's already been fed. My wife's on the phone in the other room, so he's apparently getting ignored. So he's going to come in here and beg for attention from me. And he's going to get ignored here too, which means he'll end up in Grandma's room. Yep, there he goes. It's like nothing happening here. Nothing to see here. You can see it's getting a little bit darker. It's actually pretty good. I'm going to leave well enough alone on that. Most of this is going to be black, so I'm going to erase her face, get the pencils off her face so I can color that. And her little vest is white. Pretty sure, isn't it? Her shirt's white, and I think her vest is white too. Clean up these hands, because those got to be colored as well. Okay. You know, the one thing about this paper, it erases really nicely. Clearly, I've been erasing a lot on this drawing, so you can tell it erases really nicely, which is a good thing. Okay, looks like I forgot to ink that part of her hand. Let's take care of that. Alrighty. All right, I'm going to do her face so that, and then add the black last. Spidey 2099 is still around, and Doom 2099 went on for a good run. If memory serves, I think you're probably correct. I mean, I know 2099 is still around. Bert agrees. All right, let me zoom in here as I color her face. I'm going to lower this camera even more, see if we can get in here a little bit closer so you guys can see me work on the face. That's about as low as a sucker's going to get. So I'm zoomed in as far as I'll go. All right. Let the coloring begin. It's basically going to take the same approach as I did before. Start with this rose deco. Very lightly. Because no matter how much you think you've erased the pencil, there's always some pencil hanging around that could smear. In fact, I don't even think I got her nose cleaned up. There we go. So then most of the time I'll just go in and build up color on her cheeks and on her nose. Of course, under her eyes. Mike Perkins always used to say when I do that kind of red thing on their nose, he's like, why do all your characters look like they're drunk? And then I would beat him down and continue my work. But Santa had a red nose and he wasn't drunk. You could also be cold and have a red nose too, you know, it's not just drinking. Although I did have a lady I worked for when I was in high school. I worked at a paperback bookstore, and mostly everything they sold in there were romance books to housewives that would come in during the middle of the day or in the afternoon. And but they did every once in a while get like an Ed Rice Burroughs book or something like that I would immediately grab and take. But the lady that owned this place, she was a pretty heavy drinker, and she indeed had a red nose. From, I guess, all the blood vessels bursting in their nose or something. I don't know. Jiminy Cricket claims that Santa was drunk. Perhaps he was. What was in the eggnog, right? Now, see, if you put a little whiskey in an eggnog, then it becomes a Tom and Jerry, right? I mean, I'm no drink expert, but that does sound correct to me. I don't drink. Occasionally, rarely have a beer, but occasionally I will. But I'm not one for the hard stuff. So this coming week, I got to finish up that double-page Justice League commission, which is epic. And then I've got a cover for a independent comic to ink and color. I've already penciled it, but I've got to ink it and color it. I got to get to at least 2 commissions. And also get my stuff together for ErinCon, or start getting my stuff together for ErinCon, and some other things. So it's like I got plenty of stuff to do. I'm going with a brown here, a little darker brown over her eyes for some eyeshadow. And I may go in there with if I can find it, some violet over the top of that. That's what I want right there. Mix that violet with the brown. That looks nice. A little more pink in here. Okay. I don't want those highlights too hot. Get distracting. I tend to be one of those people, I put highlights on everything, like even like cloth and material, you're like, probably would not be reflecting light. Go back in here with a little bit more pink on her cheeks.
I was psychic. Went in there, picked up my phone, and it was ringing. It was Josh.
That was the house.
Well,
Not impressed, huh?
nope. Especially for that money.
Okay.
Nice.
My big old
Granny
hairy,
panties and everything.
yeah, my big old hairy werewolf arm got in there.
The werewolf arm.
Yeah, well, I did have everybody pick their favorite Wolfman today. So see the stuff you missed by coming in late?
Hi, John. Hi, Esker Boo Boo. Good eyebrows. Shelby returns the same errand show again. Oh, uh-oh. You know what's coming up.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't do this. I got ahead of myself.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah, pretend that didn't happen and now it's happening.
Oh, it's so funny. Long live Granny Patties.
Granny Patties are hot, says Jiminy.
Sounded like I said Krabby Patties.
Krabby Patties?
Krabby Patties and Granny Patty. Panties. Say that 3 times fast. Everybody go.
You say it once.
Everybody go. You know, like Shelly's been back for 20 seconds and we're talking about Granny Panties and Krabby Patties. Ugh. And then I left my phone in the room.
Again.
Again.
My name is Elma J. Fudd, millionaire. On a mansion and a yacht. Again.
Oh,
hey, wait a minute. Shelly's here.
What? Uh-oh,
Would you read this French?
What'd I do?
Read this French for us right here.
Papier d'inspiration depuis papers of inspiration since 1557.
Oh, I know, but what is it? Just say it in French.
Papier. Oh, that's hard.
I really pumped you up.
Papier d'inspiration depuis. Oh, dates are hard. 40 000.
Okay, how about that? Well, that's
Série Fondation.
Yeah. All right. There's a little bit of little French for you. She's a little off her game today, apparently.
Oh, you've had the week I've had.
How about that?
Move your finger and I can see it. Adopté ou dessin finalisé. I don't know.
Is that suitable for final drawings?
Adopté ou dessin finalisé.
Finalisé. Okay.
There you go.
Well, believe it or not, Shelley was our interpreter when we went to France or Paris both times. Well, Paris is in France, of course, but.
Yep. Well, then I had practiced before.
That's true. She got up to speed before we left.
Yeah.
So she could order the.
Well, the first time I did some Rosetta Stone stuff. And then the second time I just watched a lot of French movies and stuff.
Well, you took like 7 years of French in college, didn't you? Or high school or in college?
About 6 between high school and college.
This pen sucks.
But I was young. It was a few years in between.
Yeah. Just a couple. We're still quite young and spry.
What do you think, Husker? What do you think? What do you think? What's it?
Oh, where is he?
This way.
There he is.
What do you think, Boo? Oh,
then he drops down. As soon as I get the camera over there, he drops down.
Boo, what's this? What's this?
Too shy.
What's it? What's Daddy doing? Yep. I'm not getting up. I'm not giving you a treat. It's too early. It's too early. Don't look at me like that. You're so cute. Yeah, you're so cute. Oh. He tilts his head. Oh, what's it?
Now he's going to growl.
What is it? It's too early for night-night snack. No, I said it. It's too early. Sorry. Really? What
The
else?
dog looks and sounds like a werewolf.
What is it, boo-boo? Pouncing on your front paws. Oh, John, don't say the T word. I know. I can't believe oh, he's biting me now. What? What? You want to show Mama? Oh, show me. What's it? Whoa, here you go.
And Shelly's off again.
What is it? Show me.
I just bought this black marker at the art supply store after church today. Strolled in there, scored this, so that's why it's so nice and black. Look at that. I always leave a little highlights in there that I can fill in with a dark gray. And I might go in with some white out too. This is what I'm talking about. Black coats, unless they're like satin or something, are not going to reflect any light. And yet I still put highlights on them. It's just how I roll, man. Okay. This. Now we're going in color her granny panties. Of course, I'll leave highlights on those as well. Oh man, there's nothing more satisfying than using a fully primed marker full of ink. And we'll go in here and make sure her bow tie is properly toned. Oh, I've got to color in her tails as well. Pretty sure her tails would not have any reflective light on them, considering that they're would be the inside actually of the garment, which would have no reflective material on it, probably. Okay. Oh, we got her hat to do too, don't we? And her hair. What am I thinking? All right. Let's flip this upside down here. Leave a little reflectivity in her hat as well. Now her hat would be silky, I would think. All right. I do think we're getting someplace here. Now, see, this is the kind of action you'll see at ErinCon. So, actually, if you want to get on the sketch list for ErinCon, for one of my $200 gray marker con commissions, you can contact me via email or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or, well, I wouldn't do any of the other sites because I don't really check those as often. So if you want to get on there for that, let me know. And these are separate, of course, than my normal commission list, which I already have, my home commission list, which is generally color pieces, large color pieces. So I don't really do those on the live feeds because they're too big, too hard to maintain control of on my lap. Whereas these 11 by 14 is about as large as I can go on my lap and still feel like I've got control of the drawing. I did pick up this little whiteout pen dispenser type thing that David Williams recommended me to try. So I'm going to use it on this. So I'm kind of anxious to see how it all works out. Okay, so what do I want? Oh, shoes. Can't forget the shoes. This girl's got more black in her costume than Batman does. Can't forget her hands. Well, Lewis wants to know about, I think, the whiteout pencil that I was just talking about. Well, I don't know if it's the exact same one that David had, but it's the closest this place had to one. So we shall see. I think it's the same thing, but there's a pencil in there I forgot to get. Oh, sorry. Color in the hands. I'm going here some orange if I can find it. There it is. Okay, now let's get into the heavy lifting. Actually, that was the heavy lifting. This is going to be the finishing stages. And let's see, what do I want here? I think I want a C3 if I can find one. That would be cold gray 3. Of course, I can find everything but that. There's all these warm grays laying around here. There's a C0, C2, a C4. That's outrageous. Well, I guess I'm going to go C4 then. Oh, wait a minute, what's that back there? No, that ain't it. There's a C3 floating around here someplace, but I don't know where it is. Oh, that's fine. So go in here. Do that. And of course, then I will hit this in the center with a little bit of white. In a moment. The much anticipated whiteout dispenser, or whatever you want to call it. Actually, I'm not sure what to call it. Yeah. It's my daughter informing me that I'll be picking her up tonight. Okay. Oops. Keep scooching this stuff around and I make sure I'm on camera. All right, I'm going to go with the neutral gray just to be different in her hair. It's not going to look all that different, but just slightly different temperature. because these cool grays lean towards the blue, and this neutral gray is, well, supposed to be neutral. So, but we shall see. All right. I'm going to use a little bit of, I think, C1 on her shirt. I mean, it is white, so I don't want to get it too dark, but I don't want it just to be flat either. Sorry. All right. My communique with my daughter hopefully has been taken care of for the next, at least the rest of the show. Because normally after I finish this up, that would be the show. But no, not tonight. We're going to go all freaking night. Well, not really. Thank you, Lloyd. But I am going to do the Spider-Man 2099. I think we came so close to doing Fing Fang Foom. So freaking close. Next time, maybe. What was that? Okay. My phone makes strange sounds that I'm still not even sure what's going on with that thing. Whatever happened to flip phones, man? That's something I could, wrap my mind around. Okay, so we want to do two things here. We need to liven those eyes up. They look actually pretty good on screen. What you guys are saying, but they're kind of dull. I want to brighten them up. So first of all, I'm going to go with a blue colored pencil and give her blue eyes, which will not register with you on the camera at all. Let's see here. Yeah, can't really tell, but they are blue. Hopefully they'll come out much better in the scan. I scan this sucker. Get her lips going here. Nice little red there. Okay. I think actually her baton would be black too, wouldn't it? Well, it's going to be. Okay. All right. So I said I wanted to punch up her eyeliner. So let's do that. See if I can get in here closer. Nope. Well, lift my knee up. How about that? Oh, look at that. It's almost like magic. Okay. So you can see those eyes are, well, they're a little dull. So I'm just going to go over them. Again, this is a 0.1. When I'm working on her eyes, my dog is jumping up, hitting my arm. Perfect timing. There we go. You can see it from that angle. It doesn't get the reflected light on there. It's much darker. It makes her eyes come alive more. We'll darken up these eyebrows too. They've been dulled by the colored pencil. Clean up some of this stuff here. Beautiful. All right. So I wanted to do something with this little sort of mystic smoke coming out of her hat. And clean up a little bit more of this pencil. I'm going to zoom out again. So you can see it's all coming together. I know I should turn my phone off, but then you might miss an important message, right? So, all right. So I just need to clean this up a little bit and do something with this mystic steam coming out of her hat. So I'm going to go in here with a warm number 1 rather loosely, as you can see. That dog is like chewing up paper, and then he shreds it up, and then I got to clean it up. What have you got? Time out for dog discipline. Sorry about that. That's a receipt, man. I gotta write that off. It's amazing the thing this dog gets in his mouth and how he gets them, but Bert, I'm not done with it yet. Of course there's going to be fishnets. Get down, you beast. See, there he is. Yeah, not, oh, he got on camera and he's like panicked like the rest of my family, took off running. All right. Going in here with 3. I think maybe I'll go back and hit this with a 2. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a 1 and I'm going to do her fishnet. So I'm going to totally freehand this. So hopefully, I mean, obviously I would freehand it, but without plotting it out, I'm just going to do it. And you never know what you might get. All right, here we go. That's not going to work. I have to come up with a thicker line than a 1. What is this? I don't even know what kind of pen this is. What is this? Drawing System 0.5, pigment ink, water-based, water-resistant. You know, acid-free, water-resistant does not mean waterproof. But what the heck? It's got a good tip on it, so I think it'll work. Yep, it will. I just can't spill water on this. Of course, if I spilled water on it, it would ruin it anyway, so. But I love it when they put stuff on pens. Water resistant. What the heck does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means you get it wet, it's going to bleed. That's what it means. So obviously I try and get these lines as close to being equally apart as I can. I don't like doing like too thin of a crosshatch because I spend a lot of time coloring these legs, so I don't want them covered up. Okay. So let me think here. Keep this going basically the same. And again, I'm locking right here, the base of my wrist or my hand, and just turning like this, and that helps me maintain a relatively straight line as I'm doing these strokes. Okay, so now we got to go back over the top the other way. This is always nerve-wracking because you screw it up and you pretty much destroyed the whole drawing that you just spent 2 hours working on. And obviously I'm not doing these just flat straight lines. I'm trying to curve them along the contour of her leg so that and again, her flesh tones right now look pale compared to what they really look like. They're much more colorful. But anyway, so I'm trying to curve this so that it follows the contour of her leg, and I'm not just drawing straight flat lines across here. And ladies and gentlemen, I did it without screwing it up. Yay for me. Mark Anthony says he hasn't received enough slaps yet. Well, you got to earn them, Mark. You know that. I just don't give them away. Although I am a highly sensitive person, so maybe I do just give them away. Paul says, just amazing. Your line work with just eyeballing and still keeping that many parallel lines. Crazy. Great work. Thank you, Paul. And Paul, as an engineer, would respect that, I think. And I appreciate you saying that. In fact, I appreciate it so much. Give you a little screen time. Oop. Wrong one. There it is. And we'll give you, of course, a big round of applause. So thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Jeff Potts says this, and well,
logical.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. So anyway, now we're just going to do the final portion of our drawing, which is doing all this little touch-up stuff using my fabulous white pen that David Williams talked me into getting. Actually, no, I'm going to outline this first with a 0.8, and then we'll go in and put the highlights in. Just want to clean this up a bit. Sometimes I'll throw a few, as they say, wild hairs out here. I'll usually crisp up the lines so they're a little more angular and a little more stylized. Got a few spots here and there that I missed with the filling in the black. I want to take care of that as well. Okay. All right, I'm doing these legs is going to be tough because these are long lines and I want to, oh, so let me do this hat first. See, if I just didn't do this, they would be more like a sketch, but I always turn this into more of a, feels more like a finished piece of artwork than it does a sketch. Okay, sweet. All right, so what's left? What's left? What's left? Okay, whiteout, of course. Here it is. Let's see if this works. Presto. Anything named Presto? Come on. Jumbo correction pen. Let's just find out if it actually works. So we're going to drop some highlights in here. Oh, I think it works. Now that I got it flowing, it's working. Ooh. Shiny spots on there. See, now she's all shiny. Do a little bit on this hat. Now I like to go through and do some extracurriculars on her hair. Maybe some magic sparklies in here. It's beautiful, man. What do I do with the cap? Oh, there it is. I see a spot here that I missed. Let's get that taken care of. Okay. Now I'm going to do what I always do and take a warm 3 and outline the figure. A warm 3. Let's see. And we'll do her hair. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we will call done. Fab. Actually, I'll do a couple of little, perhaps magical sparklies around here. Oh, let's be a bit more obvious, shall we? My pens decide to work on their own time. Now I gotta go in with the, it's me dropping stuff on the floor so my dog can eat it later. What did I do with that? There it is, okay. So we'll go in with the warm gray on those stars as well. It's like magic. Alrighty. This is 11 by 14. And let's say it's available for purchase for $250 plus shipping. Anybody interested in that? I'll post it on Facebook a little bit later as well. Fun times, folks, fun times. All right, so I have a request for a sketchbook. I'm going to do that right now. Where did you find? You guys are talking about stuff I don't know. Josh Olive, my goodness, you are late to the show. We're back on the waterproof or water resistant definition, I think is Paul's referring to. Okay. Bert's out of here. Thanks, Bert. I know it's probably super late where you're at. I don't know, Lloyd. Did you choose it, Tana? Yeah, actually, I think you did. Along with Fing Fang Foom and a few others. So yeah, that was great. Worked out fabulous. But now it's time for Spider-Man 2099 as I continue to rock. You may recognize these, Raw Imagination. 20 years of sketches from 2000 to 2019. That is 20 years because you count the year 2000. It's by me. I drew this. I drew this. There is my publishing empire, Cold Crocodile Press, which I think that's a fun little logo. Can you see it? Can you see it? No. It's a egret with a painting and dripping paint on the alligator's nose. It kind of looks like poo, but it's actually paint from his what the heck do you call those things? I can't even think. Whatever. It'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, so we'll be drawing Spider-Man 2099 on the inside of this, which means Aaron has to find some 2099 reference because I haven't seen Spider-Man 2099 in a long time. So watch closely as I type in Spider-Man 2099 and see what comes up. Interesting. What is that? A Rick Leonardi drawing? It could be. That's a pretty cool Rick Leonardi drawing. But it's not very big. I need one bigger. It's like all these people in costumes. It's like I don't trust people that make their own costumes. It's kind of like I need an actual clear drawing of the character so I can see what's going on. Those eyes are weird, man. I can't believe I'm having such an incredibly hard time finding. Oh, that's pretty good there. Alrighty. I found what I was looking for. So let's crack this sucker open. See what damage I can do to go with a little. Here, let me sharpen up this. Let's take a look, actually. There's a good page, a little Jungle Book action. That was going to be a print, and I just never got it finished. Some Wonder Woman action there. Those both turned out to be prints. Oh, a little Mr. Hyde or Jack the Ripper type stuff going on there. Some Conan, Tarzan, Nordic women, mermaids, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. This book, look at sharks, gorillas, vampires. This book has got it all, folks. David and Goliath. Look at that. There's color in there, too. Ooh. Deja Thoris and a white ape. Some fun concept art from some of my children's book ideas. And there's my daughter bugging me again. Oh, yay. Paige is taking her home, which means I don't have to go get her. That's so nice of Paige. Well, you got some Frankenstein stuff in here. More John Carter. More fantasy type stuff. More humor stuff. It's an eclectic collection, really. And there's a nice John Carter piece I never finished, which I probably should. The Shadow, which was requested earlier by Hyper Potato, I think. That's nice. Ooh, Henry Hull. See, there's proof that he's my favorite Wolfman. So anyway, all sorts of exciting stuff in this book. So if you don't have one, and I know most of you do, most of you have multiple copies with multiple drawings in them, but if you don't have one, You know, Paul is correct. Let me just re-emphasize what a great deal this is. So the book's $25, which is a fair price for this book. It's signed and numbered limited edition, you know, for $25. Then you get a drawing just for an extra 20 inside. Oh, yeah, man, I should be like a used car salesman. The deals. But I gotta take a drink of water here before we go any farther. All right, I'm ready. Spider-Man 2099, rated R. And I'm going to pull out just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. Probably would be better suited if this camera was up a little bit higher, but yeah, we'll manage. There we go. Do that. All right. Let me figure this eye out again. I got to take a close look at the Rick Leonardi reference I have here, or whoever. Now, see, when you design something that looks like this, and you have to draw it every freaking panel, that's painful. Okay, so this goes like this. And down like this. No, I don't like that. I don't think that's correct. Goes, but a higher angle, I think. More like that. And this comes down farther. That goes like this. Then this. Something like that. Okay, so this is black, right? And this goes up like this. And that goes up like that. And this goes like that. Or, well, I guess it's better because there's no webbing all over him, but okay. I think we have mastered. Well, mastered might be a bit of a stretch. Comic Book Hut wants to know what kind of pencil I use. Well, I'm just using a number 2, generally HB lead, but most of the time I actually use a mechanical pencil that's a 0.3. Or is it right there? The yellow ones. This is a 0.3 lead, which is super thin. It gets clogged a lot. The leads break easily, but it allows me to do really fine detail work, which is Which is kind of what I want to do most of the time when I'm doing actually comic book work. When I'm doing sketch work, I'll use a bigger pencil because it's okay to kind of go in there with broader strokes, as it were. Now, I suppose once you get that eye figured out, it's probably not as bad to have to draw it like every single panel. I mean, like I said, at least they don't have the webbing on there. That was the thing that must have drove artists nuts, is having that crazy webbing on there all the time. I know McFarlane used to sort of cheat out of that as often as he could and used to kind of irritate people. It's funny. For as popular as McFarlane was or is, and he's probably, one of the most popular comic book artists of all time, and yet when he was drawing Spider-Man, so many people complained. Maybe just the purists, maybe the ones that were the most vocal. It's kind of like social media. You have all these people complaining, but they only really represent about, 2% of the population, but they make it seem like they're 100%. Maybe that was the case with McFarlane's Spider-Man detractors. I never really got his art all that much, but I did appreciate the fact that it was new and it was different. Well, that wasn't really new because it was more sort of a Michael Golden 2.0, but it was still, no one had quite seen anything like it, and that's always a valuable commodity to have in your work, is to have an approach that people aren't used to seeing. And I always get you a lot of criticism, and it could end up ultimately failing, but those are the people that are super successful, are the ones that are doing something either by choice or just by, that's just how they draw, that's how they learn to draw and how their style evolved. But those are the ones that tend to always get the most attention and the most acclaim and therefore the most success. So when you're really sort of operating outside the box, I tend to be too much inside the box most of the time. More like, John Buscema or something, or someone who, always sort of drew and everything looked exactly like it should look. It was never weird or kind of off kilter or, something a little bit different. It was always, all the characters were very well drawn and looked like they were supposed to look. And I think you sometimes get lost when you do that. Well, I think almost all the time you get lost when you do that. I mean, everybody has a great deal of respect for John Buscema, but I've said this before, his original art doesn't even compare in price to Barry Smith and Conan pages. Now, granted, John Buscema, there's a lot more of them, a lot more available than Barry Smith's, but I don't even think that really would make the difference. It's just that Barry Smith's style and approach was so much more unique and so different than what anybody had really seen, that and Buscema, of course, was all really well drawn, but it was very predictable. It was, it was what this comic book work looked like comic book work should look, or what most people would have imagined that it should look like. And so those of us who are caught sort of in reality, and those of us who are really have a unique vision and draw stuff in a way that most people wouldn't even consider drawing stuff. And as a result, you end up with a really super unique style that ends up making you a superstar. Of course, the books you work on too, especially in this day and age, really help define your career. Because obviously, if you draw Batman, unless you really, really suck, you're going to get a lot of attention. And so that's a determining factor as well. Sounds like my daughter's home. That means Paige brought her home. Again, I'm so excited that I didn't have to go get her. I dropped her off. So I didn't completely not contribute, but The other thing about these sketches that I do in these books, I always try to put a little bit extra effort in here. You don't want a sucky drawing in your book. See, this is what happens when you try to do a show in your own house. I got to close the door. You'll forgive me. Kids, dogs. It's quite the sideshow attraction around here. So you also do a little shading in here, give you a little bit of extra bang for your buck. Because really, only the best for you guys. That's cross-hatching is a wonderful thing if you do it right. If you don't, it can be an ugly, muddy mess. Even when you're being loose with your cross-hatching, I still think there's a certain rhythmic feel you want it to have. Okay. Stop it! Am I going to get hit one more time? Probably. Doesn't everybody know that I'm doing this show right now? You would think by this time. See, then you start going and it starts looking good and you're like, oh, just add a little bit more here and a little bit more there. And pretty soon you've done like this, $100 head sketch for 20 bucks. I am like the discount shopping center of art. Well, and also Spider-Man headshots are, they're kind of simplistic compared to some of the other stuff I've done in these books. So I try to juice them up as much as I can, so you feel like you're getting the same level of commitment that I've given some of the other pieces I've done. Other artists get mad at me for how little I charge for some of the stuff I do. It's almost like when Neil Adams lectured me for not charging for my autograph. And I kept saying, Neil, I'm not you. I can't charge for my autograph. I'm not you. However, I have started charging because I do charge for CGC graded stuff, because I figure, hey, if they're going to pay that much to get a book graded, which they're going to sell, that, you know, they can give me a little bit of that for signing it. And also I've gone from signing everything for free to only signing 10 books for free, because I started to realize, you know, I've been doing this for darn near 30 years and I have a lot of books. And occasionally, well, more than occasionally, I have people, and I'm thankful, that have bought darn near everything I've drawn. And as a result, they sometimes want all that stuff signed, and it's, you know, I feel that that's abusing my good nature. So I figure if you're, you know, if you want 10 books signed, I'll do it. If you want more than that, then it's $1 a piece after that, which seems really fair to me. Because I'm not a big signature guy. I mean, okay, that's not true. I don't get my comic books signed because I'm such a collector that I don't want people writing on my near mint books. But even if it's the person that drew it, but I always get books signed. You know, if someone does an art book or something like that, or a sketchbook, and it's not, you know, signed, then I will, I'll request that they sign it, because I am sort of a bit of a collector. Boy, isn't that the truth? Because nuts in here. Let me check my Spider-Man. Something's going on in his shoulder. I probably should put an indication of that. Although, well, it looks like it's just, God, that thing on his chest is kind of complicated too, isn't it? I think it kind of goes. It's going to be something like that. So it's really just more of an indication. Okay, let's get back. So now we'll do a little bit of cross-hatching on his shoulder, then we'll call this good. So do we have a consensus about next week? Is anybody going to be around on Memorial Day? Or should I just bag Memorial Day and like I said, I do want to do a special 100th video show, though. It's funny when you're a complete freelancer and you have been your whole life. There's no such thing as like holidays. Every day is the same. You know, you're a slave to your deadlines, and so I never really look at holidays other than like Christmas and Thanksgiving as being anything more than just another work day. Paul wants to know how the rehab's going. It's going good. I'm 3 months out from surgery. I have pretty good range of motion down here. Lifting above my head is still challenging, and I'm doing I do exercises and stretching daily for that. And I mean, it's just it floors me how slow the recuperating process is for this. But dang this pen. See, when they don't work, throw them out, Aaron, and then you quit using them. There, I just threw it out. So yeah, it's just a really slow process to get back to 100%. I mean, I'm functional, but I still can't, like, I couldn't go out and start a lawnmower. You know, I'm still like months away from being able to do that, or to lift something over my head with my right arm. I mean, it's just, but I can draw, and I can go to the grocery store, and you know, so I still can do stuff. But it's annoying. If I really had a real comprehension, I don't know that I would have got the surgery done. I might have just said, you know what, I'll suffer. Because, man, you know, I was kind of led to believe that after 3 months, I'd be totally healed, and it would just be a matter of getting my shoulder strength back. And that's not really true. The doctor tells me is that after 3 months, I'm healed in the sense that the tendon or whatever the heck it is reattached to the bone, but it's only at about 25% strength. So it wouldn't take much for me to tear my rotator cuff again if I wasn't careful. And it's really going to be anywhere from 9 months to a year before I could say I'm really 100% back. And that's a long time. But I am sort of committed at this point, so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Spider-Man 2099. If you were 20, 3 months, we don't heal like Wolverine and mid 50s, boys, isn't that the truth? All right, so there it is. Spider-Man 2099. So Jeff Potts will be here on Memorial Day. That's one person. Lloyd's always around. You know what? I'm going to do it because people can watch it later if they're not there live. There'll be enough of us to. But since it's the 100th show spectacular, I really have to plan some stuff. So hopefully. And of course, drawing will be involved in the whole thing. I'll see if I can get David Williams. I don't know if I can get him to show up or not on Memorial Day. I got to find, excuse me, I got to reach and get the Bat book, because the Bat book tells me what number this is. And the Bat book tells me it's number 263. This was Spidey 2099. All righty, 263 it is. So let's write magic number 263 in here. I'll be bringing a box of these with me to my show in Kansas City. Of course, I'll have these ready and raring to go for Aaron Con 2021 in 2 weeks. So there we go. So let's review. I'm going to switch to my other camera, which actually shows the color for some reason a little bit better than this one does. And this is the one that I spent money on. Well, I spent money on this, but it actually came with a computer. So. All right, so that's what this looks like. Spidey 2099. And Zatanna. Oops, this way. This way. There we go. So that's Zatanna 2099 in color. That's a fairly good representation of the color. This is available for $250. And I will scan it and put it up on Facebook for those of you contemplating maybe getting that. First come, first serve, obviously. All right, so this has been fun, like it always is. You guys have been a lively and fun crowd. I've dished out plenty of slaps today, so I feel like I've accomplished something. So yeah, remember Monday night, check out Andy Smith's YouTube channel. I'll be guesting on there, showing off some of my comic collection if you're into that. I will have plenty of stuff to show you guys next week on our big 100th video broadcast show. The double page Justice League piece I'm working on. The Doctor Doom piece I have to do this week. That'll be fun. We'll take a look at that. I'll be doing some live drawing as I always do. And I'll have tons of poorly conceived entertainment videos for you. So you don't want to miss that. So anyway, everyone, thanks for joining me. It's been an epic 3-hour show. Wow. I didn't think I'd go that long today, but when you do color drawings, man, they take time. And thank you all for sticking with me. I enjoy the interaction. I can't wait to start getting to shows again so we can actually do this face to face. But until that time, be sure to always check in on Aaron Live Sundays at 5:30, and then keep your eyes open for, I might show up in the middle of the week just to do a live draw for the fun of it. So you always keep your eyes open for that. And remember to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's very helpful. And I tell people to like and subscribe even if you don't like it. So anyway, everyone, thanks. And I feel confident that Shelley Showtime will be a regular participant next week for the 100th video show. And we'll just go from there, and we'll just be hoping for really big things next week. So anyway, here's my fake freeze frame of me waving goodbye, like on Police Squad or something like that, as I say goodnight. Thank you all for joining me, and we'll see you next time.